Hello YouTube, it's Alk here with Yu-Gi-Oh! Underground with Aaron Roger. You know him, you love him. He's our ruling guy. He's also the guy who, as you remember, plays Heiratic in formats completely unprepared for Heiratic. Aaron, take us away.
I was supposed to do deck profile of Cod Curries, which I was playing today and I topped with last week, but I left at my friend's house and I was able to finish this deck, like refinish the few things I missed right before the tournament. I did top this 2 weeks ago, so I topped 3 weeks in a row. I know it's just locals, but I only play locals, so it's at least okay standard for me. Anyway, on to the actual deck.
Gives you idea.
It's also nice that you get one special summon and one normal summon, because one Veiler doesn't actually completely stop you unless you're low on resources. So that's different from like maybe Cod Curries, for example, and I think that's really important, that you just don't run out with one stop. One Redox, because you run a bunch of Earths, and even though this is pure Heretics, you get its effect off, and it's a free summon. There's no reason not to. If you saw me last, I played 2 Tempest with 2 Lusters before, but now this is better. 3 cards are Earth. You don't do anything on your first turns anyway. That's really good. I like that. It's fringe. 2 Maxis. They're Earths. They're good to make sure you don't die or anything like that. 2 Assist Scarecrows. I used to play Trag, but the problem is it conflicts with Tefnut, which is the whole reason that you don't lose to a 1 Veiler, because you're able to get 2 Heretic summons, but this is better, you get Earth. Sometimes I hate it, a lot of times I have to side it out. But like often you actually side out all this against stun, but then you have space in your side at least, so that's good. So that's kind of nice. The whole Earth package. This is also an Earth. You run it over those just because of Redox, and the attack points are never relevant. That's your other one. I honestly hate this guy, but how the deck runs now, you have to run
So just to get you talking, why not 3 Wattail Dragon?
Because I'm not a bad Heretic player, unlike some people. Shots fired. But, 1 Darkness Metal, because it's Darkness Metal. This gets Darkness Metal back to hand. You often do cut it, like, while you're siding, and it's, honestly, is kind of mediocre sometimes, but it's worth it, and what else are you gonna play? I guess Reckless. I played Reckless for, like, 2 weeks before the new format, with the hands and stuff. 2 Duality. I got secrets now, finally. Nice. Take it for your answer. Yeah. 2 Seals, you're only allowed 2 Seals. I knew they were going to cut it to 2, and I was really sad because I knew the deck was dead right afterwards, so I was really insulted.
It's not dead, because you're playing it, and you're winning locals.
I wouldn't say it's bad locals, this is just a really bad week for locals. 2 MST, because I expected to play more artifacts, and I didn't, so 2 MST. 1 Wing Beat, because people are afraid of this and play around it even when it kind of sucks. Like this, for example, Lance usually doesn't affect your deck, but this still Lance your monster, so you can't return it to hand in resolution. But then bottomlessing your Tefnut just because it exists, just worth it. Enemy control.
Heiratic?
Yeah, it is.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, enemy controller, you can chain it to effect Veiler and stuff. You can take control of their monster and tribute it. It's just all around useful. Some matchups is kind of bad, like, but this can take Fire Hand and you can tribute it. So I do keep it against that deck. Lance over MST right now because of Breakthrough and stuff like that, and you can Lance their monsters weaken. It's just generally, yeah, makes sense. Book stops Spec Veiler, all purpose, stops stuff like False Anida, just no reason not to. This is new. You use it to hit Torrential Tribute if you don't have the outs to that. But most importantly, it hits Moral Tech when Spec activates, and it hits Fire Hand. You can activate in the damage step, but how Heretics work is that you either make Gauntlet Launcher or Netvet and destroy their monsters anyway. So you activate this, and it's just useful because you don't have to set it, and it too many traps to conflict with the playstyle entirely. So if you, for some reason, you don't want to play pure Heretics in this format, which is really bad for it, you gotta play this, or something else that deals with Fire Hand. I stopped a Torrential Tribute, and what else? I stopped an Excidon, so that was useful. Yeah. 2 Breakthrough Skills because it stops Moral Tech. False 9 up, Thunder King, just random stuff. I guess Madolche's too. 2 trap stuns because with how much stuns going around, this is why I'm starting to not like the deck. It's starting to become more of a rely on trap stun and win next turn. And I liked it when they had like 3-4 back row and I had to like Lance, MST and stuff like that. Not when I tried to have to wait a turn and force it off. Though wiretap's a big problem, so I know like you're not going to get lucky every time, so that really sucks. 1 Decree in case you can in-phase Decree actually did win because of that. He had a wiretap, Eternal Tribute, Needle Ceiling, and Light Mirror, so that was good that happened. Alright, and that's the main. This is the extra. It's actually about the same as it was before. 3 of these, they get your more summons, so 1 with an extra level 6 will get you another 1, etc., etc. You can get the Sue to pop the spells and traps because that's the Heretics, they clean the field before going off. These can't attack the turn you play these, so you get the damage in. 2 of these because you can return Darkest Metal to hand or return something like this in mains if you have to. You can get your resources back if you know you can't OTK.
Do you ever use 2 of them?
Actually, yeah, I used twice at least.
Did you do an future match I can link?
No.
Okay, that's okay. I just was wondering what kind of circumstance. In grinds, I guess.
Yeah, I was a late grind. I have to go grind this deck. It means I feel like I'm already losing at the deck, even when I win. So that's why I was honestly kind of surprised I topped. I was undefeated until the last round, which was kind of ridiculous. Gauntlet Launcher gets rid of 2 monsters for price of 1, so that's card advantage wise. You'll be able to get enough damage per game. You have 26, 28, 26 is usually how I go per game. Sometimes you have to overlay it over this, but you can do that, so that's fine. This is you're forced to go defense, and it hits wars, I guess. Like, what else do they even hit where I have to? I don't know. This gets rid of monsters, and you can overlay it over Charger. I used it today to win. That's something, I remember that. Ladies, staple, use it in certain particular OTK and as defense. Shark Fortress, it makes it easier OTK when you don't have any resources. Star Eater is NetFet plus the Labrador. Yeah, that's easy. Labradorite Dragon. It's meh, but I can win often with enough. It's funny because I left it in COD Curries, but I was able to borrow my friends because I was trying to help them sell stuff. So this I had to borrow entirely from my friend. Though Scrap Dragon is with the Card E and this Maxi and this for Birdman level 5. So you actually go into it fairly often.
I ever special summon Redox from the grave for 16 points per game?
No, never. If I have full field and I'm off by a little bit of damage and Redox is the last damage, that counts, but never just blindly, oh man, I have to win game, no. So yeah, I'll decide to borrow these from my friends, so thank you, because my prettier decrees, like some of the stuff isn't pretty, like my common trap stun, which you'll see later, but oh well. Anyway, side, this takes control Ophion and their dragons are popular. I side 1 against machine type decks that don't OTK, so I can take their Gaigan. I can also add a Birdman to hand or some Scarecrow if I really need to in Card E, and then tribute it off to summon something. It'll also miss timing. I forgot if it activates on the field or not. It doesn't. Fuck me a Draco, use it against stuff like Battle Fader and stuff like that, because whether it's relevant or not, you need this. You need outs to things that can completely stop you. For example, I'm not just going to play in a format and say, oh man, I lose to Firehand and learn no outs to it. I always have some protection.
What kind of person would do that?
Dumb Heretic players or dumb, I don't know. Oh, there are the people who play no MST and then complain about Kaiser being overpowered and then they want it banned. Those people I don't like. I don't like those people. This, it's not amazing, but use it over Swiss Scarecrow against stun decks. It beats Yamato, even though the deck actually already beats Yamato because you can target it to death, like 5 things. You can put Pleiades down, a Dweller, so it's useful enough. And sometimes it conflicts with Tefton, but usually your opponents are too stupid to notice that, so they attack it with their other monster. I'm not joking, it's like that. This is the only other like disruptive hand trap as opposed to just stopping your opponent entirely, because this can hit like Necro Garna, Dragons, like Effect Veiler I really don't like because you already have Breakthrough, and this solves other problems that you have better outs with Effect Failure and Breakthrough Skill, replacing it. This is different. Prohibition, use it against like Effect Failure. I use it against Grapha and Wine. It's just all around. If you really fear Fire Hand and it's in your opening, you Prohibition Fire Hand. It's just, it's utility. So, yeah. Season Core against Ophion, and you can do it against like consoles. If you really are afraid, you can use it against Rank 4 deck, and during your draw phase, if they have Dweller, you activate it as because you get first action. You can activate it before they activate Dweller's effect.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. This is really important. I wish this was 3 now, because this is one of the general ways this deck can beat Fire Hand.
I kind of wish those macro cards were 3 too. I feel like if you lose to them, it's your fault.
Yeah, so this stops Spec Failure, Maxi, Fire Hand. It's just, it's so useful, and I used to play 2 inside, now I can only play 1, but I have to side it fairly often. This is really good against stun decks. I booked 2 Pleiades once, and it went for game. I used it on an Emptiness with was it Emptiness with Banisher? He used Book on my monster, so I couldn't resolve Wingbeat, and then I chained Clips, so his Banisher is face down, so his Book went to graveyard, destroying his Emptiness, and that just went off. So he had like a really good setup, and I still won just because this exists. And also, you can chain it to like Effect Failure and Bottomless. That's really good. I hate that I even have to do this, but 2 more to create because sometimes you're just forced to have 1 card to stop all their cards. Hope they don't have to easy out to this card and then go off. That's the only reason this deck I find more boring nowadays. And then there's a Trap Stone with a similar thing. This is against, if you know, they run a lot of hand traps. This is really important. This is also important in Ruler format. This is probably your only way you're ever going to beat Ghost Tricks.
You're so unexcited.
This is how to play the deck. I've played this deck for over a year now.
Played the deck for over a year. And as someone who's played it for over a year, we have one question for you. Maxi challenge.
Usually have to go for it. And a lot of times people don't actually have an out when they act like they have an out. Like one time I was against Pure Geargia, and he made Exciton against me to stop me from trying a Trap Stun or something, but I got another Trap Stun, and then he Maxed me, and I was like, alright, I'll just go a short route and go Shark Fortress and something. So I knew I'd game, and it turned out he ran no Valor, so I was playing around something that didn't exist, but I was going to OTK either way, so I was like, random Maxi like, with nothing is irrelevant, which is really funny, because Maxi with one thing to back it up is scary as hell, man.
A lot of people play Doors.
Yeah.
I have to do that.
I lost to Tragodia in the feature match. Yeah, because he sided in Dark Worlds, and I wasn't sure if he was going to side Tragodia, so I didn't put it in. But game 3 I won. But it didn't matter because he suicided a Mage with the field spell. But then he had like nothing, and I just kept on swinging and winning. But so yeah, this deck, I like OTK Theory, but it's just scary when there's too many ways to lose. I find that a problem, but I actually find random OTKs to be healthy for the game.
Yeah.
But I don't think the best deck should ever be OTK, FTK, or actually Stun. I don't think, because if you play one of those, then you have instead of a general best deck. General best deck means you can play any of these 3 as much as you want. But if the best deck is Stun, then you're not going to be able to play OTK very well, and all you can have is slightly more aggressive or an average deck. So even though I hate Stun, I'd agree. If OTK was the best deck, it would be worse than if it's Stun. But Stun being the best deck makes this deck really bad. Honestly, I'm starting to think next week I'll just look around local, see how many people are playing Artifacts, and then you can play Conquerors or Heiratic Space off of it.
Alright,
Or
you heard it
hands,
here
too.
first. As long as there's no hands.
Yeah, no hands,
Play this.
no Artifacts.
Play this.
You can win with... Yeah, this deck's terrible. It's just, I wanted to do a deck profile. You'll get a better one next week. Like, I figured out really nice ways to
Alright,
win with Conquerors.
guys, you heard it here. Rate, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned next week when we get into Karakuri OTK Theory.
It's not OTK!
It's not OTK, because he summons it all in defense mode.
Hey, explain my secret before the next video.